Hi preschoolers! Well, I have a really fun Pete the Cat book that I'd like to share with you today. We read this in our virtual circle, but I thought it would be a fun one to have on our YouTube channel. This one is called Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. Oh, I see some buttons there. Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. This book was written by James Dean. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with the 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much that he sang this song. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. 4. Let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Pop! Boing! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons does Pete have now? 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 buttons. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. 1, 2, 3. Pop! Boing! Uh-oh! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Let's see. How many are left? 2. If you said 2, you were right. 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. I wonder what's going to happen next. Pop! Boing! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. Look at it. How many buttons are left? Look at Pete's shirt. How many? 1. 1. Can you make a big line down? 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Oh, Pete looks happy. Uh-oh. Pop! Boing! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left now? Uh-oh. How many buttons? Oh no. 0. If you have 0, that means you have none at all. 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? saw his belly button, and he kept singing his song. Where's your belly button? My button, I still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. It's all good. Oh, Pete is a funny little cat. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep singing. Buttons come and buttons go. And that, preschoolers, is the end of our story. Thank you so much for listening to my Pete the Cat story. Pete and his 4 groovy buttons. I'll see you next time. Bye.